we did it. I was gonna try to give it a try this morning. Oh, just a second. Let me close the door in case of animals. We were going to try to give this a try this morning, and something went awry, and I couldn't figure it out. And I wanted to sneak a quick video in before 8 o'clock so that I could jump over and watch Courtney at the Quilted Cow, and technology was not my friend, and then the dog came down and needed to go outside, and so we just pulled it off until tonight. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to see what happens. We're going to take a look at, and I apologize for this weird, I wasn't expecting the YouTube to cooperate this quickly. Let's try that. There we go. Maybe if I sit in the corner, we'll see. Whatever. Oh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so we do have two things going. So if you're joining, if you're talking, if you have a question, it may or may not pop up. I'm going to look strange. No jokes. I'm going to be looking in some funny places here, but I don't want, we've got different people on YouTube and different people on Facebook, so I don't want anyone to miss out. We took a look the other day. We had some fabrics, that's some kits that sold really well in Kansas City. It was the Clara Quilt. You can see that we've got the two versions that we have made up. We've got the Christmas Carol. And then we have the Denim and Daisies. Now, I do apologize. I had this pinned up. The Denim and Daisies is that fabric no longer exists, and so we're just doing it by the pattern, which is a 60 by 60 inch quilt. And we restocked. We got to restock our kits. I had a chair there to help me, and then, you know, stuff happens. Okay, which ones? So we restocked our Denim and Daisies. This is the colorway that we've got for the Denim and Daisy. So the kit comes with 10 fat quarters. There's only 9 blocks. You need 1 fat quarter per block, but 10 is a nice even number, and then you can mix and match and change some things around in case you don't love how it's going. Let me see if I can pull this around. Here we go. Better-ish. So there are 10 fat quarters, like I said, and then there are 5 backgrounds. Now we picked as close as we could to the sample that we've got. We do have them listed online, and it does have the photo of all the backgrounds. So here's the backgrounds that we've got for the Denim and Daisies. This is the binding. Here's the binding. So there's 5 prints. And it really came out really kind of vintagey looking. I know the background is kind of close to the block on a couple of these, but it turned out really nice. And so we've got 4 of these restocked. If we have to restock and change the fat quarters, I will update the photo. I went outside this afternoon. It was nice and bright and sunny. A little too hot for my liking, but we did get some photos updated on that. And then, like I said, we've also restocked the Christmas Carol. And I'm going to have to look. Okay, so on the Christmas Carol, there are a few that we are using their previous line, which was Poinsettia Plaza. Slow connection. If I look strange on Facebook, sorry guys, it'll connect back again in just a second. We did pull a couple of fabrics from their previous collection, which was Poinsettia Plaza, but some of them you can't hardly tell. This one is a Poinsettia Plaza, and I think this one as well. Sorry. And here we go. Let's tilt you, Facebook. There we go. So there are a couple of the fat quarters that are from a previous line, but again, same colorway, same sort of color, same sort of vibe. Let me set these off and we can see the backgrounds for this one. I think that the picture online actually shows some pretty dark, pretty gray backgrounds, but we went with a little bit lighter color. I know that these look pretty, this looks pretty similar online to the white, but you'd be surprised once you get a white even next to just kind of a creamy color, it is going to stand apart, and it kind of gives that little, it helps kind of get that little vintage feel. So there's the backgrounds for the Christmas Carol, and then our binding. We've got a nice bold binding on that one. I gotta set my fat quarters back so I don't get confused. Okay, there we go. Number 2. And then I got to have fun. So we got our Christmas, not Christmas, we did get another Christmas, but we got in our Halloween line from Fig Tree Quilts. This is their Agatha Road. This is kind of a reboot of their Harvest something. It's the very similar oranges and blacks and grays and creams and beiges. And so we have put together a kit for that one. I don't have one made up, but we did do a quick little pop end on EQ8 so that you could see. So you've got the blacks, you've got the browns, you've got the oranges, and then you've got kind of that creamy and orange for the backgrounds. So here are the fabric, the actual fabric. So we've got all of our fat quarters. There's 10 fat quarters again. And then we've got our backgrounds. And a couple of these backgrounds have got a pretty bold print on them, but again, it leans towards that kind of fun vintage feel for it. I'm really excited about this one. So here are the backgrounds for that one. So this has got a little bit bigger print, but I promise you, we put it on the pattern next to a fabric that was more of a solid, so it doesn't, you don't have a lot of clash. It won't mess up any of that. I'm still getting slow connection over here, so I hope everything on Facebook is okay. I haven't had anybody. I've got a couple of ladies, got a couple of guys watching here, so hopefully everything does okay on that end. This is the binding for the Agatha Road Clara Quilt. I wanted something that was going to be kind of soft, just because it kind of helps. It helps lend to that feel of it's vintage. It's kind of old-fashioned looking. All right, you stack these back. I've actually collected. I've got a couple of not from the original fabric line, but her cinnamon and cream line that she came out with had some oranges that were very similar to that. In fact, I think one of these is the cinnamon and cream, and one of the fabrics in our Denim and Daisies kit is actually from the cinnamon and cream. It was a little bit darker. So I love that she keeps those oranges kind of together. And then we're going to take a look because her Buon Natale came out, and we did a mock-up of that one as well. Again, this one's going to have some bolder prints for the backgrounds, and some that read a little bit more solid. But here are the fat quarters for that one. So even though it's just red and green, some of these reds read a little bit more orange, and some of the greens are different. You can see the 2 greens in the front. We've got kind of a yellowy green, and then more of a basic green. We've got some that have got the red and green in it. We've got, well, we did throw a beige in there. If you don't love this and don't want this on the outside for the large blocks, for the star points, remember there's 10 in here, so you would be able to leave that out for that outside edge. You could put it in the little star points and even in the center block. I think that'd be cute there. So we did have that beige there. Oh, and then for the background prints, fold those over so you can see them all at a glance. This is the binding. We did use, because it is going to be just a tiny strip, I wanted something that wasn't going to be too red, so you're just going to have like a little pop of color there. You're just going to have, it's going to have some white and the red in there with it. And as I folded it down, I threw all my backgrounds in the floor. Here we go. So here's the backgrounds for that. Here's the one that's going to read more red. I'd have to look to see what I put it next to. think I put it next to a green, so you still kind of get that feel. And then one more green, and then one that's got both of them here, and just some beiges. And again, with this being next to the white, it's going to look vintage. It's still going to show up as your beige on that. And I forgot to grab the pattern to bring it in here. But if you have ordered the pattern from us, the pattern is Splendid Spec. It's from Splendid Spec. It's Clara Quilt. The fabric on the back calls for three fabrics. Every single version of this quilt that I've seen has been a Scrappy quilt. And you open up the pattern and there's no instructions on how to make it scrappy. So what we did, I'm going to jump up again. So I sat and did the math so that we could do a Scrappy quilt as such. So you'll have a center and a middle and then an outside. And if you buy the pattern from us online, you will get an emailed copy of this printout sheet right here. And what this does, it tells you how to take the fat quarter that you've got that comes in the kit and cut it into all the pieces that you need. And then it tells you underneath how many how many pieces you need for each block. So we didn't rewrite the pattern. We did not infringe on all of the work that she did, but this is an add-on that we have with the fat quarter for the Scrappy version. Now this will come emailed if you buy the fabric online. If you get the kit, it'll also email to you, so you will have to print it out. It's just a single sheet, so it's not a big deal to print that out. Everything else is the same. The background cutting for the backgrounds, I believe you're going to have an extra, there's 5 background prints, and there's 9 blocks, and you can get 2 blocks from one background, so you'll have 1 extra. So there'll be 1 background that only shows up 1 time. So that was it. I feel like that went faster than I thought it was going to. I'm trying to look around. Nothing's popped up, so everybody's happy. No questions. So on Facebook you can see at the bottom here we've got our another fit. Why do I love Joanna Figaro so much? Because she has amazing fabrics. We ordered the Portofino. This is actually what I'm doing my Moda Block Heads 6 in. It's the Portofino line. I had a little bit of extra time before 8 o'clock. I didn't want to wait and have it like an official time. So I waited. Guys, look what we did. We threw together a version in the Portofino, because they've got browns, they've got reds, they've got some really pretty greens. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Sneak peek. Here we go. All right, pull that up so you can see. We didn't use these limey colors in here. And YouTube, I'm sorry you guys can't see it, but on the bottom here they've got the reds, they've got the corals, they've got kind of an apricot-y color, and then even the browns and the grays. Now I do not have a little sample of this one cut out, because again, how many times are you working on something and it just pops in your head and you think, geez, wouldn't that be fun? Can I get that done in 5 minutes? Yes, let's get it done. So I will cut this out tomorrow because I'm done for the day. My brain is foggy and finished. But we'll cut this out, and so we'll have some pictures of that online. So, but I hope that you like the new fabric colors, the choices that we picked for the Halloween one and for the Christmas one. Where'd my Christmas go? Here we go. So we got a Halloween and we've got a Christmas. Now, I can't remember how quickly this block went together. It's a I believe it's a 20-inch block, so it is a large block. There's a lot of, I'm trying to think, I believe that flying geese. And then there's a section of the block, this fun little kicker right here. You actually have a rectangle and you put a fabric here and a fabric square here and stitch it and flip it out. That's as difficult as it was. And then there were several flying geese. I actually took the fat quarters that I had, I believe I cut everything out and then just kind of mixed and matched to put my blocks together, because there's only 3 fabrics. You've got the center and you've got the outer, and then you've got, I'm sorry, the center and the middle and then the outer. So you can just lay the 3 fabrics out and kind of pick and choose. And I think I sorted everything before I started so that I would know which ones I liked together, just so that you could get some little variance. Because not, especially on the orange, because it's not just 3 or 4 colors. I believe on the Christmas one there's a black and a red and a green. This one we've got a dark blue, we've got a medium blue, we've got a light blue, we've got an orange. So you kind of want to mix and match and get all of those to mesh well and get some good color variation throughout. So that's it. I closed the door to keep the animals out, and it's getting a little warm in here. As you can see, there's lights flashing everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have questions, let me know. I'm hoping that on Facebook the lag was not too terrible. You'll have to let me know. We'll see how it reposts. So I would like to, in my spare time of 0 hours, I would like to try and get at least one block put together of the Christmas and the Halloween, just so you can kind of see, because everything always looks different when you get the block put together and get the actual fabrics on it. So that'd be fun. So we'll see what I can get. We'll put pictures up, but those are on the website. You can search Clara, C-L-A-R-A. You don't have to put kit. You don't have to put anything else with it. You can just check Clara and it'll pop up. So right now we've got 4 versions on the website, and then I'll try and get the Portofino one added as well, because that's going to be a fun one. All right, well, that's it, Facebook world. I'm probably going to sit on my phone and scroll and find some stuff. And my new fascination is with, this is nothing quilt related, so if you're done, we'll see you later. Have fun. Have a good night. But my new fascination that I found online is plaster, the making of plaster beams and moldings for the interior and the exterior of your home. There was a few videos where they will cast something, just like on a small scale. You've probably seen at Hobby Lobby. They'll have you can make like little trinkets to put on a ring, or to make like a necklace, and it's a little floppy silicone mold if you do baking and you have a silicone mold, but you can put plaster in it and it pops out. They had this on a ginormous scale. This girl had probably 8 or 10 or 12, I don't know, a great big long board that was shaped in it had a particular shape, so that it was, she could put the plaster on top of it, and then plaster and plaster and plaster, and add, use some burlap, use like some furring strips so that you could actually mount it where you needed it to go. And then you pop it out of this mold, and you can cut it and just stick it up on your wall. And I was thoroughly amazed. They also had a cutout, like when you have, so say you take your applique and you've got your little shape, they cut out the inset of what they wanted for it to look like, and put it on a piece of metal, and then piled a bunch of plaster up, and then ran this little cutout over the top of it, and it shaped the plaster. I want to do one of those giant cornices for my ceiling that goes around the chandelier. I want to do one for that. I want to do moldings that I can put pretty moldings up on the wall, put them over the door trims. How much fun would that be? How many of you have I lost right now at this point? Because I believe if you're a crafter, you probably have other interests, and because you like the creation process. And so this was something that I've never seen created. I've never actually done this creation process myself. I probably never will, but it's fun to look at. So that's what I'm going to be on my phone looking at before bedtime. So hope you guys have a good night, and share the projects that you've got. If you've got something you want for us to take a look at, let me know. Pop it in the comments, and we'll see. We'll get kits, we'll get fabrics, so we'll work on whatever you think is fun. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. See you later. Oh, YouTube, you're different. I'm not sure. Where's my button over here? No, I don't need to share. I need to... Oh, X up at the top.